Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So with that being said, let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So what have I been preaching on this channel for the longest time now for? It's to pay attention to the GDP report coming out by the end of this month. Also, around like that GDP report, it will most likely be negative. We'll most likely see a recession being confirmed, but you will never hear a government agency or a government official tell you that a recession is here until it is too late. And I've been telling you guys to prepare for that to happen. I've been also telling you guys to prepare for a recession. And, I've told you guys how to prepare for it, many times on this channel before. I'm not going to repeat myself. If you guys do want to, know about that, I'm sure that you guys could probably find it in my videos before. Basically, it's, the bare minimum. Get rid of debt. Make sure that you are, holding quite a bit of, fiat. Do not overspend. Do not just buy things that you do not need. Only spend on, like, necessities. But right now, we are paying attention to like the FOMC meeting this Wednesday. I think that it could be a little bit of a volatile week ahead. Could it be, where the Fed pivots and we actually have a nice little relief rally in the market? Sure, I do think that that could be a possibility. That's why I have been hedging my bets and aping into some assets like LCX, for an example. But right now, on the 24-hour span, we are not seeing too much green in this market. It's like about 1 to 3%, like it's bare minimum gains. On the 7-day span, you could definitely see the momentum basically being, hitting a brick wall and the market kind of just, falling down. So right now, not too much gains on the 7-day span. A lot of the gains that we have been seeing, like the 90+% gains, have diminished greatly. And this is, of course, because Bitcoin has been pulling back and hitting some resistance. And I do think that now we are going to probably see a major pullback if, of course, indices, open a little bit red. We definitely have to pay attention. I do believe that we could see a relief rally going into like the end of this month upon the GDP report coming out. And of course, yes, here we have bracing for impact. Even if Thursday's GDP report shows a second consecutive quarter of negative growth, you won't hear the Biden administration using the R word. The Council of Economic Advisors is redefining what a recession is. This is coming from the White House correspondent and, of course, occasional anchor at Fox News, Jackie Heinrich. Sorry. And here we have from the WhiteHouse.gov website. While some maintain that two consecutive, quarters of fallen real GDP constitute, recession, that is neither the official definition nor the way economists evaluate the state of the business cycle. And it's funny that they are really kind of trying to pivot this now. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is a major red flag. They are bracing for the impact that a GDP report coming out by the end of this month is going to confirm a recession, but they will not tell you that it is here. I told you guys that they will sugarcoat this the best way possible. We've seen this happening with inflation, rates as well. And we do see down here, like, it is unlikely that the decline in GDP, in the first quarter of this year, even if followed by another GDP decline in the second quarter, indicates a recession. Yellen, there's an organization called the National Bureau of Economic Research that looks at a broad range of data. I will be amazed if the NBER would, declare this period to be a recession. Flashback in 2008, NBER, didn't announce until December the recession had begun a year later. Remember what I told you guys about this? I told you guys, pay attention to December, for, a recession being confirmed. Because I told you guys, we're basically following 2008 perfectly. And talking more about this and talking about bracing for impact, check this out. China, 950,000 home buyers are refusing to pay mortgages totaling an estimated US $100 billion as construction, stalled due to Evergrande bankruptcy. Building suppliers and contractors are also boycotting their loans in protest. Their system is freezing up. Chinese mortgage boycott gains steam. Home buyers' threats to stop payments on unfinished projects could deepen an ongoing real estate crisis. And yes, this just came out yesterday. I have been reporting on this for a little bit of time now on this channel, just to kind of warn you guys ahead of time. Because again, this is going to affect the global economy. We do see, remember, this is a global economy. The effects of this will be systemic and cascading. If one falls, we all fall. And yeah, here we have the U.S. bond market crashes, biggest bond crash, since 1788. China's, real estate bond market crashing, over 90 million empty condos in China. Bond market's bigger than stock market. I am buying more gold, silver now, and waiting for Bitcoin to go lower. And yeah, I mean, like, things are getting pretty rough out there. I want you all to right now prepare for, impact, if you will, or brace for impact, if you will. Things are getting really rough. Talking more so about the Evergrande thing. Yeah, their CEO just resigned. You think that this is, a coincidence? They know exactly what's going to happen here. Remember, 2008, there was a ton of, mortgage payments being basically ignored. We've seen mass bankruptcies happening around the world. And I do believe that we are bracing for impact similar to 2008 just again. And, the funny thing is that the GDP report is proving that. History is repeating itself. And I want you all right now to take a step back and make sure that you are preparing for this, because you will not hear it from this administration, and you will not hear it from any government official, saying, hey, we have confirmation that a recession is here, until it's too late. I told you guys the same thing happening with like inflation rates too. They're sugarcoating everything right now economically so that everything still looks like it's, on a, solid, roadmap or path ahead. And again, it's all fairy tale land right now. It's truly amazing how far this administration has gone to like really kind of hide things, especially even around like the Federal Reserve. Like 8.9 or 8.5 to like 9.1%, inflation rates is laughable right now. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one that is going to the grocery store spending $60 and barely even having like one of those, carrying baskets filled with stuff. It's sad right now in terms of like, financial economic outlooks. And we do see over here the key to successful CBDC adoption, understanding the hurdles and learning how to overcome them. Learn more about the barriers to adoption, plus how to implement CBDCs in order to achieve superior transaction efficiency and improve financial inclusion. And you might be wondering, why am I bringing this up? Aren't we talking more so about like, a collapse of the system, bracing for impact? Well, the reason why I bring this up is, remember my videos just recently on, not only Q&T, but also just on XRP from the other day? Yeah, I do believe that we are seeing the collapse of the legacy system before our eyes to usher in a CBDC-driven system. And I do believe that this is going to be the new world order. I know that we've talked about CBDCs, we've talked about crypto basically being at the heart and soul of a CBDC-driven system. I do believe that that is the case, but I also, have said multiple times that we need to make sure that, we go about things, on a more traditional path. And the traditional path would be to have a wholesale CBDC ushered in, all while still maintaining a fiat cash-driven society system as well. And the way that we would look at that is, central banks will still have their digital tokens, aka wholesale CBDCs, and retail will have the option between utilizing either a fiat, cash system, or utilizing a retail CBDC. And I think that when we really kind of look at things happening right now around the world, obviously we don't really have a say in, what happens with CBDCs. But I will say, like, we should be hoping, for, just a wholesale CBDC to be ushered in. Because, again, a CBDC system will solve inefficiencies around like the financial system, and it will actually help alleviate a 2008 financial crisis yet again, if that is the case. And I do believe that that is the case. I think that everything is really kind of aligning perfectly with them trying to adopt in a CBDC, driven, system all around, like even ISO 222 going live. A lot of people have, said and speculated that a Ripple, settlement could happen around like roughly the, Q4 of this year, which again, all aligns with the idea of a recession being here. We need to do something about it. What could we do? Well, let's usher in a CBDC system. I do think that that is the case. I think that everything is aligning perfectly for that. But again, I do believe that if we do see a retail CBDC being announced and basically the end of a cash society, things are going to get really rough for just the retail individuals. And again, this puts full control in the centralized system around finance, which again I don't support at all, and I think that it would be in the best interest of everybody else as well to not support that going forward. And also, we do see over here from Ripple themselves yet again, Mina is using fintech to streamline payment rails and encourage industry innovation. This, combined with rapid CBDC exploration in the region, is priming Mina for a huge leap forward in payments. We outline the region's adoption barriers plus opportunities. And yeah, we are seeing, basically them leapfrogging towards a digital currency future. We are seeing this around the world right now. We're seeing a lot of regulation talk. I think that this entire, digital system, we've seen it as well. Like, if you have been in the space for the last few years, you are probably aware that they have streamlined this entire process. And I also do believe that the entire lawsuit around XRP from the SEC side is to kind of put a control on crypto so that they could still pull the strings and control this decentralized system, all still while adopting in a digital system for the global economy. Again, I hate the idea of these elitists and these government agencies having a play in markets like crypto. Again, I've said it, we do not need these entities having any sort of control over the system. That's why I've always liked the idea of like the XRP ledger, being able to have like a private ledger basis for central bank digital currencies, because again, like, it takes a decentralized mechanism and keeps it decentralized with also offering a centralized entity to build on it and have control over what they are building. It doesn't take away any sort of decentralization, but it still, again, like, gives the efficiencies that these central banks do need to not only usher in a new digital, system, but also, again, alleviate like 2008 crisis, inefficiencies around a payment system. But we don't know exactly what their plan is. I know that a lot of people have speculated on what the SEC is trying to do. To me personally, like, it almost kind of looks like they're trying to kill crypto. Again, I could only talk so much on that. I don't know exactly what their plan is. To me personally, it looks like they're just trying to control crypto, all while still trying to like get the retail individuals out. Again, we've seen this in the past. I think that when we really kind of look at crypto, it's far too big to fail. At least in my mind, I think that when we talk about like regulations, I think that regulations could possibly, not only have history repeat itself in terms of like a dot-com bubble, sort of like, crash, where we do see a ton of the tokens that we talk about on a, day-to-day basis being ushered in as like the new, Google, Amazon, Apple, etc. But then there's going to be a large percentage of tokens that basically just disappear and, go to zero. And I do think that regulations could be that catalyst for almost like a similar dot-com bubble bursting around crypto, but it will also be good for a lot of these utility gems like XRP, HBAR, XLM, etc. But I definitely am watching the CBDC side of things a little bit more closely unfold, because we already have been seeing a lot of like the regulation talk being streamlined around the world, and I do think that it's only a matter of time before we do see like the SEC kind of be leapfrogged by either some sort of congressional a group of individuals, which we have been seeing a lot of groups being put together around like the government to really kind of look more so into digital asset regulations, and also usher in regulations around crypto itself. And last but not least, we do see over here from Anders, this BIS released their report on a future monetary system in June of 2022. It contains some heavy critiques against crypto, but I would make the argument that if there's one crypto that could pass standards, it's XRP and perhaps XLM. And I do completely agree. I think that these are the main ones that really kind of play a pivotal moment in time for like not only complementing a future monetary system, but even complementing the current monetary system. And we do see down here, I would start off with, a controversial statement, and that is that, in my opinion, there is an element of the XRP ledger being permissioned as far as validators go. And yes, this is what we talk about, like XRP, in terms of like the XRP ledger itself, having that option of like having centralized entities build on the XRP ledger, all while having like that private ledger basis on it, aka permissioned. Which is what he's basically talking about here. We do see up here like an algorithm selects the validators. Down here we have like By contrast, the Ripple Consensus Network powering XRP is a more viable institutional alternative. In the Ripple Consensus Network, the stakeholders, select their validators, resulting in, verified institutions as trusted validators with a more balanced geopolitical distribution. The XRP ledger has been described in several other instances as having an element of being permissioned in different documentations. Ripple and XRP enjoy the trust of many banks as a model for, CBDCs because it's highly centralized and is based on a permission network where only certain network nodes can validate transactions as opposed to decentralized and permissionless Bitcoin and Ethereum, which again, this is why we talk about like Ripple and XRP being the chosen ones, like Ripple being the chosen centralized company and XRP being the chosen decentralized currency on the XRP ledger, which again also offers decentralization and centralization on it, which is like permission and permissionless, consensus mechanism. And of course, down here, we have, Sharia advisor licensed by the Central Bank of Bahrain. You guys do see like permission blockchain, open source decentralized, and permission blockchain. Now, the reason why I mentioned this is because of the document from the BIS where they offered, critique against crypto. I think it's important to note that the BIS is often considered the central bank of central banks by a lot of people. We do see down here anonymous, validators, permissionless, blockchains. Again, these are like the main focus points here. And this is like also talking about like decentralized finance, DeFi, and we also do see down here like, transactions 24/7 based on open source, code and knowing no borders, which is like it's always on. More so like talking about like just crypto in general. They say that permission DLT can play a role in multiple CBDC projects like Corda, Quorum, but still it's interesting to me since the obvious end goal for Ripple when working with central banks is that they will, end up using XRP for settlement between their CBDCs. You see down here a little bit more in depth. Decentralization and permission distributed ledger technology can also play a constructive role, e.g. when central banks work together in multi-CBDC arrangements. These innovative payment rails are fully compatible with the legacy system. And then down here, they say that atomic settlement by crypto could offer benefits to the financial system. This is definitely a role XRP could fill as it's being positioned as the global settlement asset. You do see down here, like, nevertheless, crypto offers a glimpse of potentially useful features that could enhance the capabilities of the current monetary system. Automatic settlement of bundled transactions incorporated in the future monetary system. Again, this is why we, pay attention to a lot of these tokens. They bring up the fact that anyone can validate transactions in Bitcoin and they're therefore completely permissionless. Here you guys have it, permissionless blockchain. Any participant can act as a validating node, see glossary, and take part in the validation of transactions on a public ledger. Then we do see over here, anonymous, self-interested validators. And then down here, huge criticism came from the BIS against crypto's incentive structure, meaning, people are incentivized to validate transactions through economic rewards, as in proof of work and proof of stake. Again, you guys can see this if you guys want. I'm not going to read this whole thing. There's a ton to read here, but it's more so like around staking and proof of stake blockchains. And then on the next slide here, as we know, there is no monetary reward in the XRP ledger for validating transactions, which is quite rare. I'd recommend this legendary speech by David Schwartz, "The best incentive is no incentive." You guys should definitely go watch this. I think that's something remarkable, especially around XRP. Critique against DeFi as well. Here's another one. dApps feature and smart contracts allow transactions to be automated. To reach consensus, validators are incentivized through rewards. More so putting a focus point on that. This is very interesting to me. They say that the limitation of blockchain is not technological, but because of its incentive structure. And as we know, XRP offers no monetary reward for validating transactions. Again, proven here, the limitations are, not technological, but rather stem from the system's incentive structure. In the pseudo-anonymous, crypto system, they have no reputation at stake and cannot be held accountable under the law. Must be incentivized through monetary rewards that are high enough to sustain the system of decentralized consensus. Should rewards fall too low, individual validators should have an incentive to cheat and steal funds. Again, this is why XRP would be the chosen one, because it doesn't offer anything like that. And problem with fees from, monetary rewards as well. Security is enhanced through incentives and decentralization, but sustaining incentives via fees entails congestion, which limits scalability. And I know that this is probably boring to a lot of you guys because I'm going through like a whole thread, but I want you guys to understand that this is why, information like this matters. It also gives you a proven point behind XRP and why XRP would be the chosen, asset of choice for something like issuing CBDCs on a private ledger basis on the XRP ledger, which again, like everything is pinpointing to that around the world, because this is why we need a CBDC driven system, so that we could see systemic risk unfolding at the hands of a failed, legacy system. We do see down here, overall, they handed out major criticism against blockchain because of its monetary incentive structure, as well as systems with anonymous validators. The BIS completely ignored both XRP and XLM in this report, which is interesting since those two are the most involved relating to cross-border payments. Ripple is also working with a lot of central banks. Its absence is probably good, to be honest, because of crypto, only receiving criticism in this report. Yeah, I think that they, both not being mentioned, is a good thing, because also like these two, for the longest time, have been like the chosen ones, if you will, in quotation marks, around central banks, adopting technology and actually utilizing technology. Like, remember, at the heart and soul of crypto, we've always like mentioned in the beginning times of like crypto, like, imagine a day where everyone is utilizing this technology. And I know how, frustrating to some individuals like that, stride on the idea of like crypto being decentralized and not controlled. I know how frustrating it could be to have like, banks and financial institutions using these, tokens. Like XRP has always been called the banker's token, and it's always been called centralized because of the individuals utilizing it. But you also have to understand that, like, banks using a specific asset or a specific, technology in the space doesn't remotely, say like, hey, this token is centralized now. No, it actually just proves the technology around that token and the token itself in terms of efficiencies works. It means that it's a revolutionizing technology, and the efficiencies around it technologically are revolutionizing to not only the legacy, monetary system, but also like for future systems as well to be built on it. So to me, XRP is just an incredible asset alone, but combined with like Ripple, with RippleNet, it's truly something remarkable, and it could usher us into, or like even with the XRP ledger as well, it could truly, usher us into the future monetary system. But again, there's a lot of scary agenda around this new financial system, which I do think that it just kind of stems from like control over like retail money and monetary systems and values. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.